The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Preparing for storms on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you from the Kernersville Auto Museum. It's a great place, it's free, you can come in and visit on the weekends, and we'll tell you more about it later on. Later on is when the roundtable shows up, and we'll get into all sorts of controversies with those guys. But we have a lot in store for you in this half hour, beginning with these two gentlemen talking about storm preparedness and other things. Next to me on my immediate right, Rodney Cates, Director of Emergency Services for Rockingham County, and our good buddy Hank Henning is with us, Manager of Government Community Relations for Duke Energy. Good to see both you gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having us.
Hank, let me start with you. You sent me an email about a storm preparedness grant program I wasn't aware of. What is that all about?
So during storms, one of the biggest expectations from the public is how quickly can we respond to get the power back on. And we can't do it without our first responders and emergency services departments with the various counties and municipalities. And so we rely heavily on them. And so when we give back to them, we want to do that. So we put out an RFP for a $25,000 grant out to that community, and they competitively bid it. And we just want to be able to give back and help our partners, so when we need them the most, they're well equipped.
That's great. Now, Rodney, I know we were talking before we went on the show about you being a former state trooper and now in your current position. How long have you been with emergency services in Rockingham?
I've been with emergency services in Rockingham County since 2016.
All right. Now, what kind of services do you oversee?
Emergency services has 4 different divisions. That would be the 911 center, EMS, the fire marshal's office, and emergency management.
Now, when Hank was talking about storms, and this is something everybody can relate to, oh my gosh, a storm is coming, what are we going to do about that? And the power going off and coming on, this kind of thing. And I must say, not just because Hank's here, but these guys, Duke Energy linemen and everybody, do a great job of getting everything restored. But now, Rodney, to Rockingham, when a storm hits, there's got to be a lot of coordination between you and Duke Energy. I know there's got to be. So talk about that partnership, and what needs does your department have during a storm?
Well, those preparations start well before the storm. We're in conversations and planning meetings, a forecast event. We're watching what's going on. We're looking at the Duke Energy meteorology, the reports that they're putting out. Hank and I talk frequently about where they're staging crews, where the impacts of the storm are going to be, and what those impacts might be. And all of those conversations are a collaboration of events, and they play a very key role in helping us know where these storms may hit, what resources are available, when they will have crews on ground post-storm to start the restoration efforts, and how we can work with them, with our first responders, which are many fire departments, rescue squads, the EMS, the law enforcement side. How can we work with them and their crews to ensure their safety, to make sure that these restorations go as quickly and as efficiently as possible?
And boy, it sounds like a lot of people are involved from a lot of angles, and it's very complicated, but you guys do it like a well-oiled machine, and I congratulate you for that. Hey, let's circle back to that grant real quickly. How important is a grant like that to you guys?
It's massively important. When we look at one of the things we outlined in the grant that we were just awarded, our Swiftwater Rescue Team. That's made up of volunteers from nonprofit organizations that encompass the 3 rescue squads within our county, which would be Eden Rescue, Reedsville Rescue, and Madison Rockingham Rescue. So these are nonprofit organizations. So being able to have some of these funds allocated to these people that do not have a robust budget is paramount for the success and the continuation of their efforts.
Right, and Hank, as we wrap up, I'm kind of curious. I know you said it's a bid process, but how do you decide in the end who gets these grants, and can municipalities apply for them year round or what?
Well, so we see our Duke Energy Foundation as a partnership. We have a lot of partners throughout different facets of the community. So this one was targeted toward emergency responders.
Okay.
So I would just encourage people to watch our foundation website. We put out RFPs throughout the year. We really do it so we can help our partners. So as Roddy said, preparedness is everything.
Right.
And we want to help them be prepared so we can work together in times of need for our customers and the public.
Absolutely. Up on screen, duke-energy.com, duke-energy.com. Please check that out for all kinds of information about services that Duke Energy provides. And you can go to rockinghamcountync.gov for information about what's going on in Rodney's county. I'm going to call it Rodney's County from now. I'm not going to call it Rockingham. Or you can also go to stormready.noaa.gov for information on storm preparedness. To Rodney and Hank, thanks for all you guys do. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back after this.
North Carolina's economy is growing, bringing new businesses and opportunities. The need for electricity is growing too. At Duke Energy, we're meeting the challenge, providing even more electricity that's cleaner, reliable, and that stays affordable. We're getting out of coal and reinvesting in our communities with a diverse, balanced mix of energy sources and making targeted upgrades to the grid so that North Carolina can thrive in a smarter energy future.
Back now on Triad Today, let's find out more about what's going on in Winston-Salem from a little bit different perspective. And a first-time visitor to the show, Brandy Evans is Chief Marketing Officer for Visit Winston-Salem. Good to see you, dear.
Thank you for having me.
First, let's remind folks what Visit Winston-Salem does. What's the agency all about?
So Visit Winston-Salem is the official destination marketing organization for Winston-Salem and Forsyth County.
Right.
We work to attract leisure visitors, group tours, meetings, sporting events here to the community. And, you know, it's important because what we do impact locals, and a lot of times they don't see that or think that.
Right.
But it really does. It's a huge industry.
Absolutely. Now, you've been on the job, what, a year and a little over?
1 year and about a month.
1 year and a month. Now, what is anything sort of surprised you since you've been on the job as you moved into this area and got comfortable in your job?
I would say the way that our partners, community, and visitors embraced our new brand. So we launched the brand in September last year, Twice as Nice, Come On In, and it has been so well received.
Yeah.
In 1 year's time, we've doubled our hotel revenue. Last year we had 800,000 website sessions. This year almost 2 million.
Wow.
And so that really surprised me. And I think the thing that would surprise local people is that 7 million people come here to visit Winston-Salem and to enjoy our community.
As a destination.
As a destination. They come here as leisure visitors and they want to explore awesome places like this.
Yeah.
And Old Salem, the history, the culture.
There are a
and the
lot of
food.
hidden gems to look at, and then some more famous things that people haven't seen. And that's why, and I know you want to encourage too, people who live here, been here all their lives, when they have a cousin or an aunt, uncle, or grandmother come into town, take them somewhere they've never seen if they're from out of town.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And the Visitor Center is a wealth of information. We're here to serve locals as well. Come on down. We'll help you plan a trip for your family. What
kind of events or attractions are you guys working on, or that we might see coming up the rest of the year? Anything you want to start plugging?
There's so many things happening, and I think sometimes we focus on that events have to be so large to be important. But the fact of the matter is, what we want people to know is that there are so many things to see and do. On any given weekend, there are 60 plus events.
Wow.
If you go onto our events calendar, you can find something to do. And so, we're hard at work. Our sales team is doing a great job of bringing large-scale meetings, conventions, group tours, sporting events.
Sports tournaments, yeah.
And, we've collaborated on big events like the Clash, which happened earlier February. We hope that event comes back. And that was like a true collaboration and a real community effort.
Right. Now, since you and I just met, I'm interested, what attracted you to this field?
Oh, so I'm a journalism major. I started out as a newspaper reporter.
Well, okay.
And I learned about this DMO world, this destination marketing organization world. And so I used my reporter skills and transferred it into public relations. And that's how I got my foot in the door. But what I love is that what I do impacts small businesses, right? And I feel like I serve my community. And I love Winston-Salem because it still has this southern sophisticated air about itself, but it's very welcoming. There are lots of things to see and do, lots of beautiful natural assets that I enjoy here. And so, it feels like such a privilege to be able to tell others about it.
Wow. And where did you work in a newspaper or magazine, or where did you work as a reporter?
I worked for the Shreveport Times.
Okay.
I was an education reporter.
There you go.
And so I covered K through 12 education in Caddo Parish and Bossier Parish. In Louisiana, they're called parishes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, that's just great. I wonder what your background was, and now it fits. I really appreciate that. Hey, look, I want to put something up on the screen before I babble on here too much. Visit winstonsalem.com is the website. And, of course, Brandy was referencing the fact that there's so many things going on. This is where you can go to find out, and I guess you can go to different portals when you get on there. It's Visit winstonsalem.com, Brandy Evans. And I hope you will not be a stranger and you'll come back and see us.
I would love to come back.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today also airs on GTN Spectrum Channel 13 and streams on WFMY Plus, free on Roku and Amazon Fire. Back now on Triad Today, and we've talked about volunteerism before on this show in a different context, but this is fascinating. You talk about volunteers. Here's some great volunteers, and on my immediate right, Linda McKenzie, she's coordinator of something called the Ambassador Program for Piedmont Triad International Airport, and she is next to Darlene Evans and Roger Cheney, who are PTI ambassadors. Good to see all of you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Linda, let me start with you quickly. What is the Ambassador Program?
It's our volunteer program at the airport. We established in 1988, so this is our 37th anniversary.
All right.
And we are one of the first airports in the industry to have a volunteer
one of
program
those.
like this.
Now, how are the volunteers recruited, and how are they selected?
Well, they have a vetting process. They have to go through security threat assessment, have to be fingerprinted and all
Right.
that, very tough security.
Right.
And then we have them come in and shadow with a current volunteer just to get acclimated to the airport environment.
Right.
And once they do that, ready to go solo, we do some one-on-one training.
Okay.
And we, of course, outfit them in the uniforms.
And I will say on the from the get-go, as we hear from Darlene and Roger. Roger, I think you've been an ambassador for 25 years?
That's right.
Darlene, is this your first or second year?
Almost my first year.
Almost your first year. And you like Roger?
Oh,
Yeah.
we cool.
No, never mind. All right, I'm going to get both of you to answer these quickly for me. Darlene, we'll start with you. How long? We know how long you've been an ambassador. What kind of things do you do as an ambassador?
I try to encourage the travelers to alleviate their stress as they're traveling. If they have any questions at the airport, they're trying to find what airline they're going, what gate, bathroom,
Right.
to where the rental cars, whatever that will help make
Because
them.
people have a lot of questions, don't they?
They do.
And you're right, it can be stressful. Now, what kind of things do you help with, Roger?
Well, numerous things, but she's right. The stress level of people that come in there, to make them feel comfortable and at ease at the airport, because a lot of people that come up for questions usually are on edge. They really are nervous about being in the airport because they're not used to flying.
Right.
Now, the seasoned people, it's not a problem with.
No.
A lot, but most of the people
First
are like
time,
that.
you get a lot of questions from first-time flyers.
Exactly.
And of course, people worried if they're going to, have they missed a flight? Are they going to, where can they go? And do you ever get any? I'm going to put you on the spot. We didn't rehearse this. You get any strange questions? Anything funny or strange or whatever? Either one of you?
I had a lady that said, do we have a foreign currency? And I say, no, we don't have one in Greensboro. And she said, well, can't you just fly my money somewhere and get it changed for me? I said, no.
Fly her money. I'm going to try that. I'm going to come to the airport. I'm going to ask you that sometime.
I had one where a young student from App State drove all the way in and missed her flight.
Oh, wow.
And she was in tears and totally distraught. And the question she asked me was, would I drive her to Charlotte to pick up the next flight?
Now, that sounds like something my wife would ask me. I tell you, so y'all get it all, don't you? All right, before time gets away from us, I'm going to ask all three of you, why did you want to volunteer? Linda?
It's just being able to help people. We call it our Southern style comfort at the airport. And we just are able to relate to people like that, because air travel can be frantic. And you can tell people are just so upset. And it's rewarding for you to help those people.
Right. What about?
Same thing. I love helping others, and so to encourage them to alleviate the stress, so to find their way to the travel, it makes me feel like I did something on that day.
Yeah,
And
Roger.
you did.
I think it's because the airport makes the volunteers feel like a part of the airport, and they keep us involved in other things besides the information
Yeah.
booth. I mean, we do events, we do the 5K, 10K, we help out on all the things that they have going on. They treat us like part of the family.
Run on the runway and some of the
Right.
things like that. Yeah, that's just great. I tell you, I can't tell you how much I appreciate what all three of you do and your
you.
group that you're part of in helping people. Up on screen, you can go to flyfrompti.com for general information about what's going on. And I forgot to ask Linda very quickly before time gets away. If I'm kind of nervous, I want to ask a question. How do I find you at the airport?
We have 4 information booths at the airport,
Okay.
and then we rove around the airport. You can tell the volunteers by how they're all dressed up.
Okay. And Roger got through the screening okay? Is that how he's still here?
He barely made it, but
It was,
Looks a little dangerous
and
to
go.
me.
there's a story to that,
That's
but
right.
that's okay.
Thanks to all of you. I hope you come back sometime, and thanks
Thank
for
you.
everything.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
Now boarding zone 3.
Back now on Triad Today, and we're glad to welcome a first-time visitor to the show. But you know, you read about him in the paper, and he does such good work throughout the community. I feel like I already knew him. Jason Thiel. Jason is president of Downtown Winston-Salem Partnership. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Let's just, for people that don't know, or maybe they've just moved into the area, what is your organization and what's your mission?
So our organization is called the Downtown Winston-Salem Partnership. It's a private nonprofit, and we work with a board of directors that is made up of the stakeholders from downtown Winston-Salem institutions and businesses. And so our program is, and our mission is to benefit downtown Winston-Salem. We do that through events, marketing. We have a clean team that picks up the trash and removes graffiti.
Wow.
We're engaged in a lot of economic development programs, such as small business loans. We do small grants that we call SLIM grants, which help out businesses fix up their facade or street furniture, that ground floor pizzazz, as they say. And
Right.
so for us, we're engaged in a lot of other things in downtown planning. So we're much like many of our similar cohorts, whether it be the Downtown Greensboro Incorporated or different groups like that.
Yeah, and it just makes it so seamless that when you go in and do an experience with some of the events down there, you guys do such a great job. And that leads me to this. You sent me an email one day about the summer music series. Bring me up to date on that.
So we started the summer music series, believe it or not, 27 years ago. And when we started it, it had 54 events each summer. Now we have whittled that down to 10, and keep in mind 27 years ago was 1998, so we
Right.
didn't have a whole lot going on downtown, so we needed to do this to bring people, reintroduce them. Now we do it more as a way to continue to reintroduce people to downtown, but we don't do as many, but they're bigger performances than they were back in 1997, so we'll have anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 people at a concert, whereas they happen every so on and so forth. But the first event comes up this Friday or this Saturday at Foothills, right on 4th Street. So you'll be able to dance right on the road, right there on 4th Street if you'd like to come. And it's really exciting for us. The Phase Band will be kicking off the concert series. And then the following week, we have Downtown Jazz, which is in Corporing Plaza, and that starts Friday, June 20th. And so we're really excited about both of those.
It just sounds great. What kind of other initiatives are you working on?
We're engaged in all kinds of things. For us, beautification, landscape planting, trees, all of the wrought iron fences were things that we did. So a lot of the enhanced things we pick up where the city stops. One of the things that we're also doing is we just finished up flower baskets. We're planting trees in front of the transit center and on 4th Street. For us right now, beautification of downtown is a big key, as well as other programming. So we just finished up a scavenger hunt, but we're also getting ready for our holiday season. We do a big window Wonderland competition.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The Wonderland competition is something where the prizes are anywhere from $1,000 on up for the business owners and storefront owners who decorate their windows. There's a online vote, and then we also have some celebrity judges. So people really get into the holiday spirit. Throughout the year, we'll have many other programs and events that we work with collectively through the we also work with the police department quite a bit. Public safety is an important factor for downtown. If you were to talk to people, they would want to know about public safety. And so we have monthly meetings with the police department and community stakeholder groups. Everyone's welcome. And all of this information can be found at our website at downtownws.com.
Yeah, I'm going to put that on screen in just a second. But yeah, people these days feel safe, walking down there, going to events. Grabbing something to eat. It's just a great thing. We almost out of time. Very quickly, what attracted you to this field? I'm just curious.
I got into it by circumstance. I was a graduate in city planning, and I got a degree in that. And my first job was in Jacksonville, Florida's planning department, and that's where I was assigned to downtown planning. It just kind of mushroomed from there. That's
great. Well, we're glad the mushroom grew up here with you helping us, because you do a great job. Up on screen. For more information, you go to downtownws.com, downtownws.com, for all sorts of information about what's going on downtown, the summer concert series and everything, and for all the great work that Jason is doing and keeping things hopping downtown. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you, Jim.
All right. We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com. Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the roundtable, but a quick shout out to the good folks here at Kernersville Auto Museum. Please come out and see it. It's open on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's free. You will love it out here. You can rent the facility as well for functions. And speaking of functions, we're going to function right now as the roundtable on my right, but always the political left. Ogie Overman is here with us, and of course Dave Briggs here today as a special guest, and Mr. Theater I still call him, and Keith Granberry, founder of Helping Hands Consultants. All right, guys, an official with the Winston-Salem Precise School System misfigured this year's budget, resulting in a $42 million deficit. No way to pay some of the bills and salaries. Some school officials say to the county, hey, let's just raise taxes. Well, should taxpayers foot the bill for a $42 million screw-up? Ogie.
Well, there's no good answer to this. I mean, there's no fair way out of it. You can't expect the teachers to take a pay cut, and the administrators, or the taxpayers. It's not fair to the taxpayers. I don't know, maybe they could appeal to the education lottery or something.
I don't know.
Well, somebody's going to have to be responsible for this, because you don't lose $42 million. Somebody's writing a check. Somebody knew that there was a problem here, and someone has to take responsibility. The taxpayers are ultimately going to be on the hook anyway,
right?
No matter where that money comes from. I feel bad for the whole situation.
Say that again. Who did the $42 million?
It was Winston-Salem Forsyth County School System. They had a guy who's now left who made $42 million mistake.
He left?
Well, he's gone now.
So where did the $42 million go?
Well, I don't know, different places. But anyway,
I mean, I think.
Do you want to raise your taxes to pay for it?
No, you can't raise taxes.
All right,
absolutely not.
All right, 2 years, we got to that, didn't we? All right, two years ago, former Winston-Salem Councilman Derwin Montgomery, I like this guy, was convicted of embezzling $26,000 from the homeless shelter that he operated. The judge ordered him to make restitution, then heaped on some fines, so the total was $60,000. Since then, he failed to make a recent monthly payment. He fell back behind on that, and they took him back to federal prison. If the goal was to repay what was stolen, should courts be allowed to add on fines to make it so hard to repay, Ogie?
Well, it's kind of a catch-22 there, Jim. I mean, how's he supposed to make restitution from jail?
Yeah.
I think you need to pay back the money for sure. $60,000, is that unreasonable?
Some of the fines. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't. The fines I'm not sure about, because there are court costs and all the rest of the things that the federal government goes through to prosecute people. But if he can't work, he can't pay it back, and I think that they're doing themselves their own injustice.
Keith,
I think it's a travesty. Number one, $26,000, and that's iffy. And now you're heaping this on. The man can't work. There's no opportunities for him to make money. How? And then you heap fines on him.
Yeah.
That's just.
He was a good kid because you
It's just
remember we
wrong.
had him on when he was
Yeah,
running
he
for,
was a great young man with a great future, and I think that he needs another chance. He needs an opportunity.
Absolutely. Last week, the parents of 2 juveniles were arrested for contributing to the delinquency of a minor because, and get this, their kids were caught riding ATVs on a Winston-Salem greenway. If convicted, the parents could serve 4 months in jail. Guys, should the parents go to jail? Should the ATVs be confiscated, or both, or neither? Ogie.
Well, they definitely need to confiscate the ATVs. I don't think the crime rises to the. It's not like they had guns that they let the kids get a hold of or
Right.
went out shooting people. I mean, I don't think jail is the answer.
Right.
I don't think jail is the answer either. I think you get rid of the ATVs and you fine the parents, and then the county sells the ATVs and makes a little extra money.
Key.
You have to make an example out of parents, so that they'll understand the severity of it, and I think that needs to happen.
Because these kids are getting hurt on these things too.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the thing that's lost in this whole news story. You know, the other day, another kid, I think, died from one of these things. President Trump wants to reverse our declining birth rate by offering new moms various perks, including a one-time check for $5,000 as soon as they have the baby. Good idea or bad idea, guys? Ogie?
Well, Trump, that's a drop in the bucket to compare 18 years of a, how much does it cost to raise a child from birth to 18? That's a drop in the bucket. That makes no sense.
Dave.
It sounds a little bit like 1960s welfare. I mean, I help people have children to increase the population. But I don't know.
Interesting thing. Keith, what do you think? $5,000 to have a baby?
I think that we need to make sure some of these programs that are in place are still in place for some of these people who are suffering right now, especially low-income people. There needs to be programs to assist them and to move into the next level.
National Public Radio and PBS are suing the Trump administration for cutting their federal funding. NPR says such budget cuts violate their First Amendment right to free speech. Do you agree with what they're saying? Now, I mean, it doesn't, not do you agree that they should be cut, but do you agree that a cut in budget violates their free speech?
Absolutely. They should never, this never should have been an issue. It's total politics because they're considered left wing to Trump.
Dave.
It doesn't violate their free speech. The government's giving them money, and the taxpayers are giving them money.
Right.
They can produce all they want. Maybe they need to go out and raise more money.
Keith.
Well, I think this is a perfect example of, if you're the president, you get to kind of do based on what you want to do. So people have to understand when they're voting what they're voting for, and his right to do what he wants to do.
Whether we like it or not, yeah. All right, finally, guys, sexy superstar actress Sydney Sweeney is now selling bars of soap that are made from her own bathwater. Guys, would you buy or use soap made from someone's bathwater, Ogie?
Well, she might be a hottie, but she ain't that daggone sexy.
Yeah. What do you think? Would you use bathwater from somebody?
I looked her up. No, I wouldn't use anybody's bathwater in my soap.
Yeah.
And I think she's cute, but
Keith, would you use some soap made from somebody's bathwater, like Dave or Ogie's bathwater? Or?
Dave or Ogie?
Yeah.
Why would I use Dave? I would use my bathwater. It would sell out. I'm telling you.
Oh man, you are a sellout.
I can't believe you called me a sellout.
You're a sellout.
When have I ever sold that?
I'm gonna send you some bathwater.
I can't believe you.
All right, that's
I'm
all.
gonna send you my bathwater.
Yeah, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. Last week, a Kentucky mom was really outraged when she found out her 8-year-old son, without her permission, had ordered 70,000 Dum-Dum lollipops. Now she's had to put up $4,000 to pay for them. He made a sucker out of me, she said. You like that?
Pretty good.
All right, for all of us here, Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.